eyes on justice. We are not sleeping. We are paying attention, and we are here until the end. We've seen many trials, because I've been around for a while. There's only been actually few trials, but we've seen a lot of injustices. Brothers that have been murdered and have not got justice. I've watched trials happen. Even with the Philando Castile case, we watched that brother get murdered. We watched the trial. We were hopeful when we saw that there was jurors of color. We thought that we could possibly get some justice, and still there was no justice. Say that ain't right. Say that ain't right. One of the things that when we say the whole damn system is guilty as hell, we mean from the moment that our black brother is pulled over and harassed till they have his knee on his neck where it shouldn't be, when it lays there for 9 minutes until the brother stops breathing, then comes the cover-up. Everything's shipped to the BCA. There's evidence that we're not even privy to. There's man, in the Jamar Clark case, there was 100 witnesses that witnessed that man be murdered. Not one of those witnesses were admissible to court. The cover-up is horrible. So then we get to the cover-up, and that system is horrible. Then we finally get to the court system, and most of the time it's a closed door. We don't even have access to that. So this time it is public, right? Right? I just want to say, though, that it's only public because people like you stood out in the streets day after day after day last summer demanding that we get a piece of justice. So give yourself a round of applause, because it definitely took us being in the streets, shutting down freeways, shutting down police stations, shutting down capitalist businesses, being up in the boardrooms talking that smack, right? Everybody went back to work the next day and started talking that smack, right? That's when we started to see some real movement, because we've been protesting for years, but we ain't never had a public trial. So that's one step. When we take a look at the jury selection, we do see people of color. We see actual black folks, ADOs, African descendants of slaves. But what I noticed was there was a brother, there was one of the jurors, he said, I used to live on 26th and Elliott. How many of y'all know where that's at? Minneapolis folks. It's about a block, he said 36th and Elliott. Let me be clear. It's a couple blocks from where George Floyd was killed. So that means that this brother used the same corner store. This brother ran into the same police officers. He possibly went to the same schools. He encountered all of the same individuals in that area, but yet he was struck down as not his peer. Not his peer. So who is a black man's peer? Who is the person that can stand up and get us justice? And that's the questions that we really need to start thinking about. Because it is about standing in the streets when the person is murdered, but it's also about getting in the streets during the trial to make sure that we continue to get justice day after day after day after day. So I'm charging all of you guys to stay in tune with what's happening. Pay attention. Tune in to Court TV. Post your feelings about the situation. So to know that we are watching. It's not just the Twin Cities. It's not just the state of Minnesota. It's not just the United States of America, but the whole entire world is watching this case. The entire world is watching this case. Now, I haven't traveled too often outside of this country, but I have encountered a lot of people that have come to this country. And one of the things that they want to say is so great about America is this democracy, this so-called democracy. And that this is the land of the free and opportunity. And this is one of those places they were excited to get to, right? Because they could have opportunity. When George Floyd does not get justice after this trial, how is the United States going to look to the rest of the world? Is it going to look like that great democracy that they claim to be? This free world? No, because not all of us are free. Not all of us can just ride down the street. Not all of us can just go in a store and purchase something without accidentally being murdered. Or was it premeditated murder? We really have to think about these things, right? We really have to think about this. How are we showing up? So again, give yourself a round of applause for being here today because it's important. It's important that you continue to show up. It's important that we have our eyes on justice. So before we get going, we have a few people that I'm going to call up here because it's not just about what I think about justice. It's really about what does our communities think about justice and how do they feel about justice. So I met a young brother. His name was James. James, come on up here for me real quick. Now, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I don't know James personally, but I do know a lot of black men. I do know a lot of black boys. And I don't know James's story, but I know that James has had some of the same experiences, unfortunately, that George Floyd, Philando Castile, Jamar Clark, Thurman Blevins. I could go on and on and on to the harassment and the problems that black men see on a day-to-day basis. So I immediately said, brother, come grab this mic and talk to the crowd. Because again, it's not about me. It's about how our community feels. How you feeling, James? Tell them about it, man.
All right, well, tomorrow really, Derek, lawyers, they're finna try to make it seem like George Floyd was wrong and try to make it seem like he didn't have nothing to do with his death. All right, really, we gotta open a statement. Tomorrow they gotta open a statement, but we got one too. We will stand on justice. We will stand and demand justice. Not only will we stand for our people, we'll stand together for our people. We'll fight for our people. We're going to be here tomorrow. We're going to be here the next day. We're here the first day. We're going to be here forever. And we're going to keep coming till they give us justice. And we're not going to stop till they give us justice. We're here to demand it. We're here to stand on the promises that we said last year. No justice, no peace. And this is that promise. That's why we're here.
Thank you so much, James. No justice! No justice! No justice! No justice! Y'all, I want y'all to say the second part because that's what we're here for, right? No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. 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 So I actually am going to just kind of I'm waiting on a couple of organizers to show up, and I really did just want to gather folks together, start to get your energy up, start to get your mind thinking, really start to center you on the reason why we're here today. But I'm going to let our sound play for a few more minutes. We're going to occupy this space, remind them that we pay for this. We pay for this. It's a beautiful building, ain't it? There's so many things that we would do with that building, though, right? There's so many buildings, so many acres of land that the government uses that we put dollars into that we could use differently. So I want y'all to really think about that as y'all listen to the music, about how we can start to shift this system from the beginning to the end, because it's bigger than just police brutality. There are things that lead up to police brutality. And when we think about all the millions of dollars that this system is using to do things like keep us caged out of buildings that we pay for, that shit ain't right. Say it with me, that ain't right. All right, thank you guys again for coming out. We'll be back with you in a minute.
Today is the day before the opening statements in the Chauvin trial. We are in Minneapolis, Minnesota, downtown, in front of the Hennepin County Government Center.
And you start to see the movement happening all around you. So.
Expect the worst, and anything that's better than that will be a pleasant surprise. But I think it's naive to believe that all of a sudden with justice, when however many years all we've got is injustice. So, I mean, obviously the city's prepared for the worst. There'll be boards, barbed wire fences, all of that. So, I mean, I think it's safe to prepare for the worst as well.
So then for you, then no matter which way, what do you think your response as far as your work? Not like as far as the emotional reaction.
Last year around
Son.
Right. Everyone has a place in protecting Black lives, especially in this moment. As an Asian American, I want to make sure to show up for our Black relatives who have shown up for my community. Since, you know, I mean, like the reason that we are here on Turtle Island is because Black organizers in the 60s were able to fight for our rights and our ability to come here. So I want to show up for my Black relatives in their struggle for liberation.
Thank you. And also, can you tell us what we can support you all at?
Yeah. I think right now a lot of Asian Americans are looking for support from all quarters. So just like even checking in with your friends and just like letting them know that, you know, our liberation is intertwined with one another, and only together can we fight back against white supremacy and the violence of the state.
Thank you. And give us your information so that my followers can send you some money on your PayPal, or if you got a GoFundMe account, or whatever you guys are putting together.
Thank you. You can contact me at Kala, K-A-L-A, Mendoza on Instagram, or kmendoza at nonviolenceresource.org. We're here to support protect all unarmed civilians. So if folks are interested in being part of protecting folks here in Minnesota, so reach out to me.
Thank you, That's our
King.
brother American, brother basically out here.
How they feel and everything. I love you.
Thank you.
About how they feel ahead of everything tomorrow, and I wondered if you could introduce to us.
Sure.
So, tell me, how are you feeling ahead of the opening of this tomorrow?
Well, I feel like it's sort of a situation where we need to prepare for the worst, honestly, because if you see, the city has obviously prepared for the worst. And it would be naive for me to believe that after years of injustice, and you finally see something like with the Philando Castile or another stolen life, like, okay, well, this one has to be, the cop has to be convicted, like, it's obvious. And for them to continue to walk and continue to walk. And so it's naive to think that anything will change in this case, therefore making me, like, need to prepare for the worst. And anything beyond that, anything better than the worst will be a pleasant surprise, but I'm not going to hold my breath for it.
So the worst for you is what?
I mean, if they let him walk. And if they do that, I hope that opens the eyes of everyone who saw the 8 minutes and 46 seconds of the murder. And because apparently the state says that would be justified. Apparently that's justified by the state. And if that is the case, then we have a lot of work to do to protect our citizens, to protect people, to protect black people.
As a black man in Minneapolis at the moment,
I mean, I feel like we've already been conditioned to feel the way that we all feel. It's an unspoken thing. It doesn't matter if you have the conversation or not. You know, we've seen time and time again how black folks have been treated differently in this country, so we have to be aware of that and act accordingly.
Hey, brother, can you tell us why are we gathered here at this time?
So organizers said all eyes on justice. So obviously we're here letting them know that we're watching you.
Speak up.
We're watching you. We're going to keep our eyes on the trial. Obviously, we're not going anywhere. We are going to pay attention. This isn't just going to be swept under the rug. The people are here, and you're going to have to appease the people. If the people know what's right, but you try to tell them something different, well, we're going to have a problem with that.
That part. Thank you. What is that? What does your shirt say?
Black Girl Advocate.
Black Girl Advocate. What does that mean?
So this is my friend's clothing company. Basically, it just means that regardless of who you are, anyone can wear this shirt, but it's letting people know that every space that I'm in, black women, black girls will be accepted however they choose to represent themselves, however they choose to express themselves. You have a safe place around me. I will fight for you and ensure that none of these evil systems that are out to persecute black bodies and black women especially will exist in my presence.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing. And what can we expect today?
It'll be a good demonstration. A lot of people speaking, a lot of community, a lot of support. Just a peaceful, beautiful moment for people to come together and fight for what they know is right.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, brother. Gotcha. So what I've been doing is going up to people and asking them why are we ready today? What is this? Okay, gotcha.
I quite want something to go a little bit down.
So we're live right now to people. So we're just kind of walking.
And in terms of the end result, I am nervous about if the jury acquits him of what we know to be obvious murder. That's not going to do well for anybody.
Having lived last summer here, how do you feel?
Well, I feel nervous for the exact reason I just said, but in a certain sense I have hope because, I was here last summer, and I think when you say that, you're referring to rioting and burning, but what I saw last summer was a beautiful city coming together and saying, we want different, we want change, we want a Minnesota that's respectful of black people, we want a Minnesota that's respectful of poor people. And so I'm hopeful because last summer a lot of good really came out. A lot of good.
Dare you? Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hey, bro, can we get one more?
This must have been so emotional.
because I'm old. Yeah.
Yeah, tell them. Yeah, tell them how you got that patch on your eye. Tell them.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to tell.
Here.
Record it.
Tell them about
Yeah, so I was on 35W South, which is, I wasn't on the freeway, I was on the on-ramp to it. And this was the day, May 31st, when the semi-truck had gone by. That was a big deal here.
Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. All right, y'all, we're ready to get rolling. Our organizers are here. Parking is horrible down here. Thank you guys for getting here early enough to get parked, because I see my organizers. We needed parking. So without any extra words, I want to introduce Monique Cullers Dougherty. She is the head of Black Lives Matter Minnesota. She also is with Justice for Marcus Golding. She also is with Black Lives Matter Twin Cities. She is TCC for Jay. Listen, this lady's been around for so long that she said not that long. This lady has been around since the very first Black Lives Matter rally in the Twin Cities. So we're talking about let's say that together. The very first Black Lives Matter rally in the Twin Cities. That was like in 2015, 14? 2015. So when we talk about movement building, it starts on the ground. I watched that from my seat. I was not at that rally. I was not there. And I can tell you there was not a whole lot of people there. But time after time, she has shown up. She has been consistent. She has been steadfast. And she has been focused on justice. And so last summer when George Floyd was murdered, it was already vibrating in the air. People had already got everybody going. We had had conversations. We had talked about what justice looks like, what justice feels like. Young people grew up watching folks take to the streets, and people showed up in thousands. That's what movement building is. So I want to personally thank Monique for constantly showing up. I want you guys to give her a round of applause for constantly showing up. Because I promise you, in 2015, George Floyd's death would have got swept under the rug. Who knows who Tysel Nelson is? Yeah, see that? One hand went up. One hand went up. That was a brother that was murdered by the Minneapolis PD. Nobody knew about it because it happened before 2015. Now we know a lot of names, right? So give her a round of applause. Monique Cullers Dougherty.
Thank you all, but that's too much about me. This is about George Floyd and justice for all. So I'm thanking you for being here and coming out. Shout out to the media who's here, but I want the media also to understand that while we're here today, that we have people who have been arrested standing up for George Floyd who may have harsher charges and penalties and fines and sentences than Derek Chauvin himself.
Listen!
So we have to remember those 646 plus who were arrested and kettled on 94 in a peaceful demonstration. Drop those charges. We want to remember the 50 people in Minneapolis kettled following the Breonna Taylor verdict. Drop those charges. We want to remember the people that were arrested right here downtown on New Year's Eve. Drop those charges. We want to remember the people who were arrested in Oakdale outside of Derek Chauvin's house. Drop those charges. So we have to remember those who are standing up, those who still have to continue to live their lives, deal with this crooked judicial system while we continue to stand up for George Floyd. So let's remember everyone, those who are in the streets, those who have been arrested, those who have been hit with so-called rubber bullets. We had a reporter who lost an eye, another one shot in the jaw. We had some serious injuries that were completely unnecessary. So as we move forward with protesting for George Floyd, media and everyone, please call out the aggressive and unnecessary actions of law enforcement here in the Twin Cities. This is not just one single incident. This happens time and time again. And just as Derek Chauvin put his neck on George Floyd while the cameras were rolling, the police here do not care and will still send out a false narrative in spite of video and for photo evidence. So I want to also say, for those 646 of us who were kettled and arrested, we have to remember there were people who were not even on the freeway who were victimized. People who were trying to document with film and photos and just standing in support, who were beaten, nearly trampled by a horse, who were maced. We have to remember those windows that were broken out of cars that were just peaceful people who were just in their cars supporting us. We have a very violent system here, and it is completely integrated into our judicial system. And that's why we have to continue to be out here for George Floyd, because if he doesn't get it, we will shut it down. If he doesn't get it, it'll be more than just shut down. So just as we stood when he was killed, we have to remember we're going to stand with that verdict if we don't get what we want. If George don't get it, shut it down. If George don't get it, it's going to get effed up. We just have to be honest about that, what's happening here. We cannot take anymore. We have a chant, fired up, can't take no more. We're fired up, can't take no more. We're fired up, can't take no more. We're fired up. We're fired up. We're fired up. That's right. That's why we're here. We're tired of this system, this crooked system. We've got to make change. And it doesn't come easy. It takes sacrifice. It always has. You're sacrificing your time to be out here. So we sincerely thank you for your continued support. Thank you so much. On behalf of Twin Cities, BLM Twin Cities Metro, we love you so much. Thank you.
What do we want?
So, justice.
When do we want it? Now.
What do we want? When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
For who?
George Floyd.
For who?
George Floyd.
For who?
George Floyd.
For who?
George Floyd.
That's right. Okay, Chantel, our next speaker is the DJ with Twin Cities Coalition for Justice for Tomorrow. I love DJ. Literally, when I say I love DJ, I honestly love DJ. I organize with TCC for J, and you may have seen him out early in the George Floyd days in this Spider-Man hoodie. And we just, he stood out. He's a superhero, actually. He really is. He speaks, he gets it in. I call him my nephew. He calls me auntie. This is truly a protest family out here. So, DJ, let's just hear from you what you have to say, because always, this is an intelligent brother right here. Yes. In awe every time you speak. Love you.
Thank you. So I just wanted to welcome everyone to the war zone. Used to be our downtown area before the fencing and the concrete and all the barbed wire. Yeah, barbed wire. So they thought it was a joke, right? They don't be taking our chant serious, right? Because when we said no justice, no peace, right? We meant that shit. That ain't no chant. That ain't no joke. That's not a threat. That's a motherfucking promise. Okay? And we're going to be out here until we get justice. All right? And justice is not just Chauvin getting convicted, right? Because we need to make sure he gets convicted. Well, we got 3 more killer cops to go. We need to get CPAC through. We need to end immunity, right? We have so much shit to do. We got to get the cops. We got to get systemic change. We got to get everything, okay? And we got to make sure we get this justice and they don't try to trick us, right? Because they keep talking about the trial of the century, right? Usually trials of the centuries are like things that are like in the middle, you're like controversial. What's controversial? We all saw the video. What the fuck is controversial about this shit? What y'all think? You think he's guilty? Someone say guilty. Someone say guilty. Someone say guilty. So we need to realize we need to get some fucking justice. We need to stay out here. We need people to realize We need people in the courts to realize. We need people in the county. We need people in the state legislature to realize we're going to be out here until justice gets served. And everything they fucking do will be watching. As a community, as a nation, and as the fucking world. And they're going to do the right thing, and we're going to force them to do the right thing, okay? Because this is what community looks like. This is what community looks like. This is what community looks like. This is what unity looks like. This is what unity looks like. All power to the people. Also, I'm with Twin Cities Coalition for Justice for Jamar. We're trying to get CPAC through, and that's going to actually give us systemic change. We've got our own amendment that's going to go against Yes Minneapolis, and so what we're trying to do is we're trying to get CPAC. So if anyone who is a Minneapolis resident who wants to help support us and get it on the ballot, go ahead and sign our petition. We have several people in the crowd. If the CPAC people can raise their hands. So if you just go up to one of these people, they'll be able to actually help you sign up for CPAC, okay? Because remember, it's about getting justice, but it's also about getting systemic change. Can I get a hell yeah? Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Almost. Okay, there you go. Oh, Treasure Cruise, Black Lives Matter, Minnesota. I understand you're out here. Treasure Cruise, to the microphone. This sounds like God, doesn't it? When I say Black Lives, you say matter. Black Lives, Black Lives, Black Lives, Black Lives, Native Lives, Native Lives, Native Lives, Native Lives. All right, we got Treasure Cruise, co-founder Black Lives Matter, Minnesota, a true community organizer, far beyond just police accountability. This man who's organized like national nights out for Frogtown, community gardens, so that the people there learn how to grow fresh and healthy foods for them to bring to their table, just farm to table. He does a weekly radio show. What's the station? WFNU.org. Okay, bringing attention and awareness to the critical issues that are taking place. He is also the National Vice President of the National Reparations Committee of the Green Party. He is doing work for the people tirelessly and effortlessly. Thank you for being out here, Trey Hart.
Black lives, Black lives, Black lives
Matter.
Say his name.
George Floyd.
Say his name. Say his name. Say his name. Say her name. Say her name. Give a big shout, give a big round of applause for Monique Cullers Dougherty. Give a big round of applause for all the activists and organizers out here. Some of our, like Monique was just saying, some of the organizers are out here facing charges for practicing civil disobedience. So I just want to lift up all the organizers, everybody who's facing charges across America for standing up for justice. We've been getting a lot of flack sometimes for some of the work we're doing, but I say give these organizers and activists more money. If you haven't donated to them yet, please donate. They're facing charges. They need lawyers, legal fees, all types of things, and they put their lives on the line to stand up for stolen lives and vast prices. For 400 years, the United States government has had its neck on the American descendants of chattel slavery, and a debt is owed for that. Last time we were here, we were talking about Lady Liberty, and one component we spoke about was the scales of justice. So she's holding scales, and scales are used to weigh the evidence. So tomorrow, we begin to start weighing the evidence against Derek Chauvin, Tutau, I think his name is Lane, and one more officer, Chauvin. But we're also weighing the evidence against the United States government for 400 years of slavery, lynching, segregation, separate but equal, Brown versus the Board of Education, the lynching period, mass incarceration, and the war on drugs. And I believe that the scales are unbalanced and that the United States government owes a debt to the American descendants of chattel slavery. So tomorrow's just not about Derek Chauvin. Tomorrow's about 400 years of oppression that Black lives has faced here in America. And we're gonna be demanding justice. And people all over the world are watching and want justice for George Floyd and Black people in general in the United States. It's hard for the America to check China, to check Saudi Arabia, to check anybody else when they're treating us the way they treat us. When they're choking out 11-year-old kids, when they're punching innocent people in the face, when they're shooting unarmed people. America has a problem. And they can't talk to other nations about human rights without respecting ours. No justice. No justice. No justice. No justice. Thank you. Peace.
Thank you so much, Trey Hearn.
No doubt.
Thank you so much, Trey Hearn. Something about Trey Hearn, when he moves around, he's on the mics because he was a rapper. So that's ingrained in him from his years of performance with rap. So
Lodo.
are those our cars? Is that the train driver?
Yes.
Oh, don't act like you don't know what's happening. We shut down trains and light rails all the time. Just sit and wait. You know how we do it. Don't act brand new. Just wait. If you keep complaining, we'll make you wait even longer. You have to back it up, get out, walk to the other end, and back it up. All right. So now we have Tashira Garraway-Allen with family supporting families against police violence. I only got it right so I was able to read her shirt. I mess it up every time. So Tashira has just been out here tirelessly since her fiance Justin Tigan was killed 11 years ago. 11 years ago by St. Paul police. A horrific story. He was killed and thrown into a dumpster and turned up on a recycle bin conveyor belt. So this is before the times of videos on cell phones and all of that, but she's still standing up. We still want to make sure that we do get justice for Justin Tigan and for little Justin, their son, their beautiful son. So Tashira's out here. She's formed a group, and it's a beautiful families to come together and just talk about the trauma and help support one another. And I also saw on Facebook you can sign a lease so that you guys have a space to meet regularly and support each other. That's beautiful. Thank you, Mike, for all that work. So everyone give a hand to Tashira Garraway-Allen.
I wouldn't dare take my mask off right now. This is someone that truly inspires me. And before I truly had strength to be out here and to speak, and to speak on my own and to stand up against this system, I had people like Monique Dougherty that said to me, Tashira, this story that happened to Justin is horrific. And wherever I go, you and your story is going with me. And it is people like Monique Dougherty that reached her hand out to pull me in and to encourage me and uplift me and give me the words and the strength that I needed to be out here. And now I am able, by the grace of God, to lift and touch other people and to encourage them the same way. I call her Auntie Monique, the same way that she did for me. Because that is what we have to do. That is what we are required to do. To lift someone else up that is hurting. Because our families can become afraid. Because these people, once they murder our loved ones, they're not finished at that. They don't finish the job when they murder our loved ones. They sabotage our families. They sit outside our homes. They follow us. And like Monique said, these people can wait because they're inconvenienced for a few minutes, but imagine what we're inconvenienced for the rest of our lives. So they can wait. They can sit there and they can wait because they have no idea the inconvenience and the hurt and the trauma that people like Monique Dougherty when they stole her nephew away from her. And no matter what we do, we can't get away from that. So, no justice,
no peace.
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 If Marcus don't get it,
Shut it down.
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 if Cordell 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 don't get it,
Shut it down.
if Jeffrey don't get it,
Shut it down.
if Demetrius don't get it,
Shut it down.
if Kobe don't get it,
Shut it down.
if Justin don't get it,
Shut it down.
if Jamar don't get it,
Shut it down.
if Travis don't get it,
Shut it down.
if we don't get it.
Shut it down.
So I want them to know that we will be shutting it down. We won't be moving up on their requests.
That's right.
They're not moving up on our request for justice for our loved ones. They're not moving when we're out here crying and pleading and begging as families for our loved ones. And George Floyd would be alive today had they listened to the people that were out here hurting and coming forward with our stories. Had they listened to us, we wouldn't be going through what we're going through. A man wouldn't have lost his life in broad daylight, urinated on himself, pleading for his mother. So why should we move for their crummy little light rail? Why should we move for their convenience when they inconvenience and hurt our entire lives? Why should we move? We will not be moved. How about that? We will not be moved. Because enough is enough. Enough is enough. And that's why we're out here today. So I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for standing up for what you believe, for coming alongside our families. Because we have a duty to fight for our freedom, right, Chantel? And we have a duty to love and support one another. So continue to love and support one another and love and support our families. All power to the people. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I also want to say, Chantel Allen really took the lead on this, and I'm just so thankful to be organizing with Chantel here in the Twin Cities. She's always been a youth advocate and really taken time to talk about having officers in our school systems and trying to get rid of that. She is just a pioneer doing the work to call for justice for young and old and everyone in between. So Chantel, thank you for just seeing the need that we should have an event the day before the trial. Thank you so much, and really appreciate you. So right now, what we're going to do, we're going to line up behind the banner. So we need some people who want to walk in front and are able to hold the banner, we're going to line up behind the sound truck. We're going to line up behind the sound truck in the street, right out here, right behind Trey Hearn, who just spoke. We're going to line up, and we're going to start marching, because that's what we do. We know we're Black Lives Matter. We stay in the streets. That's right. So we can just head over that way. We'll get ready to march and show the world that we are serious about justice. Thank you.
Oh my gosh,
We are now moving to the march downtown Minneapolis near the Hennepin County Government Center.
Matter here. Black lives, they matter here.
Black lives, they matter here.
Black lives, they matter here.
Black lives, they matter here.
You shy?
The battery's in the right
It's okay, we can practice it.
Oh,
Next time you don't speak.
you right. You right, I forgot.
Okay, what do you need me to do for real? Come on. In your hand.
Only one man has been found guilty of killing a civilian, and that was a white woman that was killed by a minority officer. But there's hundreds of bodies that led up to George Floyd. The trauma that we seen, the riots, did not happen in result of only one man's life. It happened because there was hundreds of more murders prior to George Floyd that were covered up by the police departments and the BCA, the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. And we're just tired. We're tired. It's many more families out here that are hurting. And
what do you expect from the trials? Do you think that Chauvin is going to be convicted?
I hope and I pray, but what we have seen through history is that they have no value for Black men's lives or minority people. They've killed a lot of minority people, even Native and Asian people. They're brutalizing a lot of people here in Minnesota. And it's been quiet and it's been covered up. And we're hoping that this trial will, they will do the right thing, because we all seen how he died. But they're trying to twist the narrative and say he died a different way, just like they did with the rest of our families. This is traumatizing to our families. The officer that killed George Floyd only lived minutes away from my house, walking distance away from my home. Yes, and they left him out in the community for almost a week and would not arrest him. They left him in the community and they didn't arrest him until the riot started. So they have pushed the communities back up against the wall, and the police show up to the protests and they are violent. They are hurting and hitting people. They shot a guy in the eye out here today. He's out here today and he lost his eye because of the police brutality.
And about the police brutality, last question, has something changed in this year? Because we have heard 10 months ago we were here, and yes, the calls for the reform and the fund the police, and the council approved.
Yeah, our families are asking for 9 bills of legislation. They've given us such a hard time with passing. This is a police state. They are for the police. That is why all these murders have happened, because they.
Nothing has changed.
Yeah, no, hardly anything. Nothing has really changed regarding the laws or anything. There's nothing. They don't address the people in the political seats are not addressing the hurting community. They're not addressing the pain, and they're not reaching out to the hurting community. We have to reach out to them and then wait for a response. And sometimes we never even get a response. So it's just. We're hoping that they will reach out to the hurting community. But most of all, I want people to know that there's hundreds of more murders here. And the only reason why George Floyd murder made it all over the world is because they didn't get to the video in time to cover it up like they did my son's father when they beat him to death and threw him in a dumpster. They got to the video and was able to edit it. But they weren't able to do that in George Floyd's case, and because it spread too fast on Facebook Live, and that's the only difference.
Yeah, the internet and Twitter made the difference. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm going to take your phone because we are going to stay here.
Okay. I have other families if you guys would like to interview other families.
Downtown Minneapolis, they have paused a train from Mobility, and now we are about to start the march.
He's guilty as hell. He died. One minute.
No, this is my little sister.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
I'm trying to jump on your back.
Hey, I'm going to my car, man.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Hopefully it wasn't perishable food. Follow her. USA. Say, what do we want? What do we want? Now. What do we want? Justice. What do we want? Now. What do we want? Justice. What do we want? Now. For who? For who? George Floyd. What is his name? 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 George Floyd. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. What do we want? Justice. When do we want it? Now. For who? George Floyd. George Floyd. What is his name? George Floyd. What is his name? George Floyd. I smell bitches. 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 Put your middle fingers up in the air. All some of y'all already did it. Y'all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Say hands up, fuck you. 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 Hands up, fuck you.
All right, well, I think that's your guard. You may go home. That's your guard. 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 ACAB. ACAB. All right, here's a new one. I'm going to say GTFO, and you're going to say get the fuck out. GTFO. Get the fuck out. GTFO. Get the fuck out. ACAB. GTFO. Get the fuck out. ACAB. All GTFO. Get the fuck out. Don't talk to the racist system. 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 No good talk to the racist system. ACAB. ACAB. GTFO. Get the fuck out. GTFO. Get the fuck out. When I say I can't, you say freeze. I can't breathe. 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 Say his name. Say his name. What's his name? 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 All right, when I say with all you say days when Black Lives Matter. Will the whole lives matter? 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 All right, I'm gonna say, how do you spell racist? And you're gonna say NPD. How do you spell racist? 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 NPD. No justice. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. Who's the enemy? 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 When I say rig, you say jury, rig, 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 rig. I believe that we will win. 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 I know that we will win. I know that we will win. I believe 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 that we will win. Let's go. I believe that we will win. One more time. I come on now. I believe that we will win. 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 All right, repeat after me. The world is watching. 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 If we don't get no justice, they don't get no peace. If we don't get no justice, they don't get no peace. If we don't get no justice, they don't get no peace. We're threatening. Just calm it down. Oh, thank you. We're set. Thank you. We're set. We're set. We're set. We're fired up. Can't take no more.
Keep going.
We're fired up. Can't take no more. Can't take no more. We're fired up. 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 Can't take no more. Move. Who's on the ground? We're here. We're here. To shut this shit down. Move. Who's on the ground? We're here. We're here. To shut this shit down. Move. Who's on the ground? We're here. We're here. To shut this shit down. Who's on the ground? We're here. We're here. To shut this shit down. We're here. Who's on the ground? We're here. We're here. To shut this shit down. Who's on the ground? We're here. We're here. Shut this shit down. Who's on the ground? We're here. We're here. Shut this shit down. Who's on the ground? We're here. We're here. Shut this shit down. Black lives they matter here. 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 Red 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 lives they matter here. The nation lives are under attack. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. 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 When trans lives are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. When Latinx lives are under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back.
While under attack, what do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. What do we do? Stand up, fight back. If George don't get it, shut it down. 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 If Justin Tiger don't get it, shut it down. Justin Tiger don't get it, shut it down. Justin Tiger don't get it, shut it down. If Marcus Gordon don't get it, shut it down. If Marcus Gordon don't get it, shut it down. If Marcus Gordon don't get it, shut it down. If George 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 don't get it, shut it down. Hey, repeat after me. Can y'all hear me? This still good? Yeah? Now we're gonna do some singing. Say, mama, mama, can't you see? Mama, can't you see? What the system does to me? What the system does to me? We're lost in nothing. Ain't no justice in this town. 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 Mama, mama, don't you know? Mama, mama, don't you know? The police have got to go. The police have got to go. They lock themselves and shoot us down. Especially stop and shoot us down. Ain't no justice in this town. Ain't no justice in this town. Mama, mama, can't you see? Mama, mama, can't you see? What the system's done to me. What the system's done to me. Lock yourself and put it down.
Ask you where you're at, and you're gonna say you're downtown Minneapolis and tell them how you got it.
Ain't no justice in this town. 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 Ain't no justice.
Say real loud into the mic. Downtown Minneapolis. Okay.
The police have got to go.
We are in Minneapolis right now, please. Please come join us, please.
Ain't no justice in this town. Ain't no justice in this town.
Minneapolis, Minneapolis. Minneapolis.
Downtown Minneapolis?
Yeah.
What are we marching for?
George Floyd.
Ain't no peace. Ain't no peace. Out in these streets. Out in these streets. Again, ain't no peace. Ain't no peace. Out in these streets. Out in these streets. Refuse to be defeated. Refuse to be defeated. By enemies. By enemies. Refuse to be mistreated. Refuse to be mistreated. By these police. By these police. Ain't no peace. Ain't no peace. Out in these streets. Out in these streets. Say ain't no peace. Ain't no peace. Out in these streets. Out in these streets. Refuse to be defeated. Refuse to be defeated. By enemies. Refuse to be mistreated. Refuse to be mistreated. By these police. By these police. Mama, mama, can't you see? Mama, mama, can't you see? What the system's done to me. What the system's done to me. They lock us up and put us down. They lock us up and put us down. Ain't no justice in this town. 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 Mama, mama, don't you know? Mama, mama, don't you know? The police have got to go. The police have got to go. They lock us up and shoot us down. They lock us up and shoot us down. Ain't no justice in this town. Ain't no justice in this town. Say ain't no justice in this town. 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 Say ACAB. All cops are bastards. ACAB. All cops are bastards. ACAB. All cops are bastards.
ACAB. We here, we lit, we taking over this shit. We here, we lit, we taking over this shit. Say love, we here, we lit, we taking over this shit. We here, we lit, we taking over this shit. Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people. Say it louder. Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop. Say it louder. Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop. One more time. Ain't no power like the power of the people, cause the power of the people don't stop. No good cops in the racist system. 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 And for our unhoused neighbors, say no more cops for park evictions. No more cops for park evictions. No good cops in the racist system. No good cops in the racist system. No more cops for park evictions. No more cops for park evictions. Boots, boots, boots on the ground. We're here to shut this shit down. Louder, boots, boots, boots on the ground. We're here to shut this shit down. Boots, boots, boots on the ground. We're here to shut this shit down. No justice, no peace. Prosecute the police. 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 No justice, no peace. Fuck these racist ass police. No justice, no peace. Fuck these racist ass police. No justice, no peace. Fuck these racist ass police. No justice, no peace. Fuck these racist ass police. When I say the revolution, you say ain't nothing to fuck with. The revolution. The revolution. The revolution. The revolution. The revolution. The revolution. Say you can't stop the revolution. Say you can't stop the revolution. 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 You can't stop the revolution.
Come on in and let's take over this intersection right quick. We just want to hold space right here. Look at this multi-million-dollar building our tax dollars paid for. Look at that multi-million. They can invest multi-million dollars in a sport. But how much are we going to invest in saving black lives in the city of Minneapolis? We're going to take over this intersection and block these light rails. Because again, they invested a lot of dollars in building these trains so that they can make more money. But how much are we going to invest in black lives? Now, I sit on the school board. I see a budget as a moral contract. When I look at my budget, I'm wondering, how are we going to shift this budget so we can start educating black kids? Because it is a moral contract. Right now, we have the city budget up, right? Like 12% is going to policing. I don't know how much money Minneapolis gets, but I know that that's quite a bit of money going to policing. We need to be investing in the front end. We need to be investing in community control of the police. We need to be investing in public safety methods that support community and support neighbors, support one another. We need to stop putting our dollars into buildings and infrastructures and things that ain't gonna do nothing but set us up for them to kill black men. It's time for a change. So I wanted us to stop in this intersection and just take a minute to just breathe. Take a minute to just think about why we're here today and how things could be so much different. Take a moment and just really think about George Floyd and his daughter and his family that loves him so much. And how much is his life worth? How much are the lives of the other black men that live in this Twin Cities and pay taxes? How much is their lives worth? So I want you guys to hold the system accountable. I want you to hold the police accountable. But I also want you to hold Interfi accountable too. Because he's invested a lot of dollars in a lot of states and it's really only second to be murdered. We need to pay attention. Pay attention. It's deeper than that. It's deeper than just the surface of what we're looking at, right? I have to breathe sometimes to really just think about this. It's a lot. It's heavy. We have Miss Rosemary here somewhere. I thought she was going to come in this intersection and bless us. It's our beloved elder in the movement. She's coming. This is our beloved elder in the movement. And when I say that, I mean she keeps us centered. And for a long time, since this movement has started, matter of fact, she's been at this long before some of y'all was born. Straight up. And it's really sad that people are being born and grown and then going to the streets, and then people are getting older and more people are being born and grown and going to the streets. For the last couple of years, I've had a lot of children that have been born, and every time I look at the newborn baby, I make this promise that they're not going to have to stand in these streets. We've got to commit to that. We've got to commit to the fact that justice is going to happen in this generation. That our young children will be able to go to school and get an adequate education. Amen. Our young children will be able to walk down the street and not be harassed. They can continue to keep their driver's license. They cannot be profiled. That they won't be pushed out of their homes from redlining and taxes and all these gentrifying things that are happening that are causing people to lose their homes. We've got to stay committed to this. And I know a lot of folks think, you know, if I do this all my life, then where's my life going to go? We've got to put our lives out there for that. Because the people before us, there was people that were doing it, but there's a lot of people who weren't. Dr. King was not as loved as he is today. So please, take the time to hold your people accountable around you. Ask them to show up. Ask them to hold everyone accountable in these situations. I'm going to give the mic to my beloved elder, Miss Rosemary Nevels. Because we can't do anything unless we understand where the people before us have been. Because we're just moving in a circle if we don't hear the voices of our elders. So everybody give Miss Rosemary Nevels applause.
You don't have to give me no applause. We got to be here. We got to do this. We can't stop from the cradle to the grave. So justice is here for everyone. And I'm going to say greetings. This is a Holy Week. It's very interesting. I thought about that. I said, here we are, the trial starting. And for the Christian community, this is the holiest week we have in the year. More holy than Christmas. And I said, love and peace to everybody, whether you're a Christian or not, because that's what this is about. This is a war against good and evil. Be real clear about that. And I want to thank the ancestors for the sun today, for everybody that's here, and I pray for protection. But don't be afraid. You can't be afraid. Like I said, Fannie Lou Hamer, she wasn't afraid. Harriet Tubman, she wasn't afraid. Don't be afraid, because what we're doing is for justice. And I was just thinking, my son was needlessly killed this week, about 3 or 4 years ago, due to this violence. All this violence in our community. 70-year-old woman, I just found out, was killed on Franklin in Chicago. It makes no sense. But this is what the powers that be want us to do, to turn on each other. So they take the focus on what they're doing. All these big-ass corporations. If you got Blue Shield insurance, get rid of them. They supported Trump. Delta Airlines, don't fly their ass. They support the Republican Party. Know what's going on. Know where your money's going. They got Nike. They got some negative shit out here. They get ready to put a tennis shoe out that has real blood in it. What kind of shit is that? Okay? They make trillions off of our community. People are homeless and hungry. Are they building shelters? Are they building apartments for people? Are they trying to feed anybody? Boycott their ass. Get rid of them. Because this is all related. So many people have been killed, even before George. But he was an angel that brought things forward in the whole world. The young brothers and sisters in Senegal, Africa are fighting now too for their rights. Nigeria, all over the world, they're rising up. So be real clear, we are not alone. We are not alone. And don't be afraid. I'm 71, but I gotta be out here. Chantel called me. I said, y'all didn't call me yesterday, but I gotta be here today, regardless. And she just said, we don't want our children. This is one of my nieces. Her uncle was killed by Chauvin 2 years ago. That's before people were rising up. They were so drugged out they couldn't even think. But she's here today too. Standing up for her uncle who was killed years ago by the same man. He's killed more than 5 people. This is nothing that's just happening.
Listen!
But I'm so glad that you young folks are rising up. Rise up. Rise up. Stand. Stand for justice. Stand for righteousness. And we have a beautiful sister, Jai Anthony from North Minneapolis. She has a song. I'm hoarse today, I can hardly talk. But it goes like this. And some of y'all know it, sing it, because we got to sing as we fight to keep our energy up. Here it is, yes, Stars Day Up, thank you. One day, we won't march no more. I said one day, we won't march no more. Till my sisters are equal and my brothers are free. Hand in hand with my family, we'll march in the streets. Come on, everybody. One day, we won't march no more.
The day gonna come when I won't march no more. But while my sister and equal and my brother can breathe, hand in hand with my family, we gon' feel these streets. Hey there, policeman, oh, I can't breathe. Hey there, policeman, I can't breathe. Hey, Mr. Policeman, hey, I can't breathe. Hello.
Sisters are equal and my brothers are free.
The day gonna come when I won't march no more. The day gonna come when I won't march no more. Well, I'm my sister and equal, and my brother can breathe. Hand in hand with my family, we gon' feel these. I need to see your mayor marching with me. Where the fuck is Jacob to march with me? Hey, Mr. Mayor, are you marching with me? Come on and join us as we feel these streets. Hey, the day gonna come when I won't march no more.
The day gonna come when a woman so wrong. But while my sister ain't equal and my brother can't breathe, hand in hand with my family, we gon' feel this. Maybe tomorrow, when the people are free, maybe tomorrow we'll have equality. Maybe tomorrow we can truly breathe. Until then, I'll be with Miss Rosemary in these streets.
Everybody, take care of yourself. Get enough rest. Eat good, because this is a long struggle. We need your energy.
When I say Black Lives, you say matter. Black Lives. 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 Black Lives.
So 2 or 3 cars.
I want to really thank Leon for constantly showing up. This brother did a banner today. He made all of these All Eyez, All Justice posters. Give him a round of applause. So I'm saying what he did today, but I met this brother years ago, and I've been seeing his images all through our movement, displaying our voice in the most beautiful way. And so I need y'all to give him another round of applause, because like I said, it's about the movement. It started out small, but we're growing. So thank you, Leon. Thank you. All right, you guys, we're going to get ready to move again. I'm going to pass this mic to a chanter. Where are we? Hey, here goes my wife. Hey. Back. Okay, here's a good one. What is it? Oh. Hold up, we want freedom, freedom, all these racist ass cops.
Freedom, freedom, freedom.
Hey.
Hold up, we want freedom, freedom, all these racist ass cops. Freedom, freedom, freedom.
Hey, hold up, we want freedom, freedom, all these racist ass cops.
Freedom, freedom, freedom.
Hey, hold up, we want freedom, freedom, all these racist ass cops.
Freedom, freedom, freedom.
Again, hold up, we want freedom, freedom, all these racist ass cops.
Freedom, freedom, freedom.
Hold up, we want freedom, freedom, all these racist ass cops.
Freedom, freedom, freedom.
Say, bow down, Babylon, black people on the phone, we ready, we coming. Bow down, Babylon, black people on the phone, we ready. Bow down, Babylon, black people on the phone, we ready, we coming. Yeah. Bow down, Babylon, black people. You say we ready, we coming, we coming. Bow down, Babylon, black people on the bomb, we ready, we coming, we ready, we coming. Bow down, Babylon, black people on the bomb, we ready, we coming, we ready, we coming. Bow down, Babylon, black people on the bomb, we ready, we coming, we ready, we coming. Who's street? All street. 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 Who's street?
All street.
Who's street?
All street.
Who's street?
All street.
Who's street?
All street.
Who's street?
All street.
Who's street?
All street.
Who's street?
All street.
Who's street?
All street.
Who's street?
All street.
Who's street?
All street.
Who's left? Who's left? Who's left? Who's left? Who's left?
of the people? Say what?
Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't.
Okay, so when I say revolution, y'all say ain't nothing to fuck with. Revolution!
Ain't nothing to fuck with.
Revolution!
Ain't nothing to fuck with.
Revolution!
Ain't nothing to fuck with.
Revolution!
Ain't nothing to fuck with.
Revolution!
Ain't nothing to fuck with.
Revolution!
Ain't nothing to fuck with.
Revolution!
Ain't nothing to fuck with.
Revolution!
Ain't nothing to fuck with.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! These kids got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! 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 All right, so when I say do Blue Lives Matter, you say it doesn't exist. Do Blue Lives Matter? 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 Say his name. What's his name? Say his name. What's his name? Louder! Louder! Say his name! What's his name? Say his name! What's his name? And George don't get it? And George don't get it? And George don't get it! 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 When I say we the people, you stand powerful. We the people! 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 Hey, when I say it's our duty, we say to fight for our freedom. It's our duty! It's our duty! It's our duty! It's our duty! It's our duty!
It is our duty to win.
Show me what democracy looks like! 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 Show me what community looks like! Show me what community looks like! Show me what community looks like! Alright, when I say rig, you say jury, rig! 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 When I say racist, you say jury, racist! 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 Rig! We live! We lit! We taking over this shit! Say what?
We lit. We taking over this shit.
Say what?
We lit. We taking over this shit.
For Black Lives, we mobilize! For Black Lives, we mobilize! For Native Lives, we mobilize! For Native Lives, we mobilize! For Hmong Lives, we mobilize! For Hmong Lives, we mobilize! For bad Babylon, black people, let up, we ready! We coming! We ready! We coming! Hey, bad Babylon, black people, all that, we ready! 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 Black lives, they matter here. 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 Trans lives, they matter here. Trans lives, they matter here. Women's lives, they matter here. Women's lives, they matter here. Native lives, they matter here. Native lives, they matter here. Asian lives, they matter here. Asian lives, they matter here. All right, we're gonna learn a new one. You gonna recognize the melody. We're gonna talk to the pigs first, okay? Talking to the police. So everywhere we go, the pigs wanna know who we are. So we tell them, we are the people. The motherfucking people. Say we are the people. The motherfucking people. Everywhere we go, the pigs wanna know who we are. So we tell them, we are the people. The motherfucking people. Say we are the people. The motherfucking people.
Okay, the minute we
All right, now we're gonna talk to everybody else. All right, so everywhere we go, the people wanna know who we fight for. So we tell them, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Asian Lives Matter. Asian Lives Matter. Native Lives Matter. Native Lives Matter. Everywhere we go, the people want to know who we fight for. So we tell them, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
Downtown Minnesota.
Women lives matter. Women lives matter.
George Floyd.
Native lives matter. Native lives matter. Asian lives matter. Asian lives matter. Back to the pigs. Everywhere we go, the pigs want to know who we are. So we tell them, we are the people. The motherfucking people. Say we are the people. The motherfucking people. Everywhere we go, the pigs want to know who we are. So we tell them, we are the people. The motherfucking people. Say we are the people. The motherfucking people. Everywhere we go, the people want to know who we fight for. So we tell them, Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter. Native Lives Matter. Native Lives Matter. Say Asian Lives Matter. Asian Lives Matter. Trans Lives Matter. Trans Lives Matter. Say Queer Lives Matter. Queer Lives Matter. When Black lives are under attack, what do? When black lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that.
What do we do?
Stand up like that.
What do we do?
Stand up like that.
When black lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that.
When black lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that.
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 When Native lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that.
When Native lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that.
What do we do?
Stand up like that.
What do we do?
Stand up like that.
When Asian lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that.
When Asian lives are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that.
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 When black youth are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that.
When black youth are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up like that.
What do we do?
Stand up like that.
What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Hold up, we want freedom, freedom. All these racist ass cops, we don't need help. Again, hold up, we want freedom, freedom. All these racist ass cops, we don't need help. Again, hold up, we want freedom, freedom. All these racist ass cops, we don't need help. Again, hold up, we want freedom, freedom. All these racist ass cops, we don't need help. Time, hold up, we want freedom, freedom. All these racist ass cops, we don't need help. No good cops in the racist system.
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 No more cops for park evictions.
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 No good cops in the racist system.
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 No more cops for park evictions.
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 ACAB. ACAB.
All cops are bastards.
ACAB.
All cops are bastards.
GTFO. Get the fuck out. ACAB.
All cops are bastards.
GTFO. Get the fuck out. ACAB.
All cops are bastards.
GTFO.
Get the fuck out.
ACAB.
All cops are bastards.
GTFO.
Get the fuck out.
Indict.
Convict. Send those killing cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell.
Get indict.
Convict. Send those killing cops to jail.
The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict.
Convict. Send those killing cops to jail.
The whole damn system
is guilty as hell.
Indict.
Convict. Send those killing cops to jail.
The whole damn
System is guilty as hell.
Hey, hey, ho, ho. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. These racist cops have got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The National Guard has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The National Guard has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The National Guard has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. The National Guard has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Say white supremacy's got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. White supremacy's got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. White supremacy's got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. White supremacy's got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. White supremacy's got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Say Derek Chauvin has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Derek Chauvin has got to go.
Whole system has got to go.
And what do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
For who?
Justice.
For who?
Justice.
Say his name.
Justice.
Say his name.
Justice.
Say his name.
Justice.
Say his name.
Justice.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Justice.
When do we want it?
Now.
For who?
Justice.
For who?
Justice.
Say his name.
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 Justice.
George don't get it.
Shut it down.
George don't get it.
Shut it down.
George don't get it.
Shut it down.
If 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 George don't get it.
Shut it down.
Who shut this down? Who shut this down? We shut this down. Who shut this down?
We shut this down.
Who shut this down?
We shut this down.
Who shut this down?
We shut this down.
Who shut this down?
We shut this down.
Who shut this down?
We shut this down.
Who shut this down?
We shut this down.
Who shut this down?
We shut this down.
Who shut this down?
We shut this down.
Who shut this down?
We shut this down.
Who shut this down?
We shut this down.
Who shut this down?
We shut this down.
Who shut this down?
We shut this down.
Who shut this down?
We shut this down.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
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 Ain't no power like the power of people, cause the power of people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of people, cause the power of people don't stop. Say it louder. Ain't no power like the power of people, cause the power of people don't stop. Say it louder. Ain't no power like the power of people, cause the power of people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of people, cause the power of people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of people, cause the power of people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of people, cause the power of people don't stop. Indict, convict, send those killing cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Indict, convict, send those killing cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Louder, indict, convict, send those killing cops to jail. The whole damn system is guilty as hell. Hey, hey, ho, ho, the National Guard has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, the National Guard has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, the National Guard has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, National Guard has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, National Guard has got to go. Hey, hey, ho, ho, National Guard has got to go. Hey, hey, National Guard has got to go. Hey, hey, National Guard has got to go. You, hey, hey, National Guard has got to go. Hey, hey, National Guard has got to go. Hey, hey, National Guard has got to go.
National Guard has got to go.
Hey, hey,
National Guard has got to go.
hey, hey, National Guard has got to go. Say his name.
George Floyd.
Say his name.
George Floyd.
Say his name.
George Floyd.
What's his name?
George Floyd. George Floyd. George Floyd.
What's his name?
George Floyd.
What's his name?
George Floyd. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down.
If George don't get it,
Shut it down.
if George don't get it,
Shut it down.
George don't get it,
Shut it down.
George don't get it,
Shut it down. Say what? Ain't no violence by the people of Chauvin. Say what? Ain't no violence by the people of Chauvin. Ain't no violence by the people of Chauvin.
Real comfortable, leaning and shit.
We shut this down. We shut this down. We shut this down.
You see all the right there? That's why they got some up here. Because they scared. That's why they got they scared. Just like y'all. Y'all scared. Because you a bitch. Straight bitch. Look at all y'all. Straight bitch. High five you up. But I guarantee when it comes down to you ain't laughing. Now, put your thumb down.
We got this sergeant that's here, please. Round of applause. Yeah. Mic check. 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 We got BLM Media here with us. Give them a round of applause. Move for Justice Media here. Give them a round of applause. News on Purpose is here. Give them a round of applause. I saw a unicorn riot here earlier. Give them a round of applause. Because guess what? They don't tell the channel 4, 5, 9, 11 don't always tell our stories. They never do. We got to tell them right. So thank you guys for showing up for all these years. Andre Freeman, shout him out too. He's always live streaming for us. I want y'all to tune in right here. Tune in to the microphone. We're gonna do the Asada chant. I appreciate y'all hanging those on the fence. If y'all can face some towards the street too, though, because they know we got our eyes on justice. We want the rest of the community to know we got our eyes on justice too. So face some of those towards the street when you're hanging them up. Now repeat after me. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to win. We have a duty to win. We must love and support one another. We must love and support one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to win. We have a duty to win. We must love and support one another. We must love and support one another. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose but our chains. Put your fist up. Put your fist up and run that shit back. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. We have a duty to fight for our freedom. It's our duty to win. It's our duty to win. We must love and protect one another. We must love and protect one another. Say this with your fucking chest. We have nothing to lose but our chains. We have nothing to lose. I'll say. All power to the people. All power to the people. Let's go. Thank you guys again for showing up. Please walk with somebody to your cars. Do not walk alone. Be safe. Be vigilant. Keep your head on a swivel. And remember to show up tomorrow for justice for George, y'all. Justice for who? 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 Thank you guys. Have a good night.
We are downtown Minneapolis, Minnesota, right outside of the Hennepin County Government Center. We have just marched. You have just heard